Struggling to get that final polish on your track? Hello there, I'm Thomas from JST HEAT in a parking lot. The mixbus can make or break your track. And today I'm going to show you how I set up the mixbox for my cover of Chase by Giorgio Moroder and how I got the final result. Whether you're producing a new track or refining an old one, the changes you're making on your mixbus can lead to dramatic improvement. Let's get to it. I think I'd like to show you what's on my master bus first. I don't do top-down mixing, so it's a bit counterintuitive to show you that first, but that way everything I will show you after that will be affected by the master chain. When I usually mix, I start with the drums, then bass, guitars, lead, etc, etc. I always start with a fixed mix, so no volume automation. I choose a part where I have a bit of everything together, that way I know that nothing will clip or will be too compressed or over-processed. When I'm composing, producing and starting to mix the song, I always have a compressor on my master bus just to get the feel of how everything will sound together. When I'm fully in the mix process, I usually go back to the compressor, change the type or the plugin and tweak the settings from there. Okay, let's deactivate everything here and let's see what part does what. Okay, let's check the compressor first. I use it to glue everything together. Here I'm using the solid bus comp from Native Audio, which is basically a clone from the SSL bus compressor. Here you can see my settings. I usually aim for 2 to 4 decibels of reduction, slow attack, fast release, 2:1 ratio. Let's hear the mix with and without the compressor. So it glues the thing a bit more together. It also adds a bit more dynamic and emphasis on the transients. I'm going to show you a tip on how to use a compressor when you're not really sure about what you're doing. I used to do that a lot when I started producing. What you'll do is use extreme settings. That way you can really hear what the compressor does and what the attack and release knobs do. So start with a really fast attack, fast release, high ratio, and then lower the threshold so you have like 10 dB of reduction. Then you're going to raise the attack until you have a satisfying result and do the same with the release. And there you go. The results you will have largely depend on the song and the feel you want to give it, so it's really up to your taste. Then I have an EQ, which is the Pro Q3 from FabFilter right there. Not much happening, just controlling the sub bass on the sides. I usually like to have an EQ right there, because when I'm mixing, I usually do some correction from here and then transfer what I did on the track that would benefit from that filtering. For example, I would EQ some harsh frequencies on the guitars right there, and then just copy the settings and put it on the guitar bus. That way, only the instrument is affected by this change and not the whole mix. Then I put some saturation with JST HEAT. It helped the mix be a little tighter and also add a bit more of compression. You can also see that I put the mix knob at like 66%. Like that plugin. Then I put Ozone Imager 2 to spread and enhance the stereo a little bit. After that, I put a multiband compressor that I use only on the low band right there. It doesn't do anything on the whole song, but it helps prevent some low end buildup in the metal break. Let me show you that. Let's go back to the verse. Then there is the Quad Imager from T-Rex, from IK Multimedia actually. It prevents the sub from going all over the place and causing phase issue on the mix and just spreading the stereo a little bit more. Let's hear that. You might think it's subtle, but if you remove the Quad Image and Ozone Imager, it really does make a difference. After all of that, I have JST Maximizer for final volume and clipping. I'm just going to note that I'll use the auto trim for this video so you don't experience a huge volume boost. I like this plugin because there is a few tools that just help enhance your mix and your master. There is a low-end compressor, which here just really tames the subs. Then you have the tone knob, which is basically just a tilt, and you can see it's like just tilted a bit more on the bright side at like 5%. You can add also a bit more saturation right there. With the source knob, you can choose, there's a different algorithm. You can choose to inflate, saturate, excite, or clarify your mix. Then maximize is basically the knob volume. And on the bottom here, you have a few knobs to tweak your bass. So you can put your bass in mono. So here it's at 40 Hz. There's a small bass saturator, which is here at 8%, so not that much. And a bit of stereo enhancement. Let's hear that bypassed first. The rest of the chain are mainly tools. I have a limiter to prevent anything going over minus 0.1 decibels. Then I have a gain plugin that I only use to check my mix in mono, which is a really helpful thing, especially to set your levels right. Then I have a multimeter to check the loudness, to check the frequencies, and that also helps if you have like a reference track somewhere, so you can have both of your multimeters to reference each other. Then I have two more plugin inserts that are just for me. This one I will use to put sound ID and my speaker calibration EQ. And then after that I have another limiter just to make sure that the calibration doesn't clip anything on the output. Up next, I'm going to show you where I usually start my mix with the drums. I'll show you how I used Addictive Drums 2 and the unique routing I'm using with the plugin. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe and drop me a comment. I'd love to hear what you think or any questions you may have. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you soon.